Welcome to another video of Lord PeteyTV Plays. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through a couple of dungeons here, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what we do in certain situations and how we kind of fix them and went through it, how the bosses are dealt with, and so on and so forth. We're going to be dealing with multiple different classes. I would say it's going to be up to 5 or 6 different classes, but as of right now, we're prioritizing Druid and Monk, or I should say Balanced Druid and Brewmaster Monk. So please check us out. We're going to be doing a lot of other keys for other classes too. So we'll see you all soon. So we're into week 7 right now of Dragonflight, and this is, a couple of our runs we did. I'm going to be ending up giving you keys on, the Druid, on the Monk, on the Priest, and, kind of just what we ended up doing throughout the whole entire time on what we ended up doing to kill bosses and so on and so forth, and situations that we had. So thanks for stopping in. As always, while we're dealing with AD, you kind of just want to take like a note of what you're going to do. But like I always say, you take that first pack on the left while it's a fortified week. You end up using Lust there, so it gets on timer as fast as possible. You end up going after the 2 dudes underneath that, then you're going to go after Razan, and you're kind of going to do your quick little do-si-do. As you can see here, when I'm DPSing, I'm trying to stay actually pretty far away, except for when the terrifying vision goes off, I kind of get close, and then I can hide a little bit. But I try to make sure that I'm DPSing as much as I can, doing single target, trying to, make sure I hide for the vision. And I make sure that when it's about 1 second left on the timer for pursuit, I get a good distance away, because you will possibly get eaten if you are close. It actually has happened to me. Actually, the most of the time it does happen is when I'm on my tank, because sometimes I stupidly just get too close. But overall, this boss really isn't a big deal other than just keeping it back and forth. Just keeping an eye on it, and it works pretty well. What's it called?
Season 2.
That other stupid one. What other stupid dungeon called?
Black Rifle?
Yes, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
was like, what?
What did he call it initially? What was that?
Brackenhide. 4.
I was like, hey,
2,
wait, you managed to get Brackenhide as a key?
How?
Are you looking to support the channel? Please make sure you go to our merch store. The link is in the comments below. We have mugs, shirts, lots of cool things that we will love you to purchase and be wearing and supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much. We end up pulling all these little skitters all over the place. Take care of them, get them done, get them down. Very easy, very quick. Dak does a really good job of bringing everything together, and then after that we kind of just go straight into the next group, and we make sure that we're taking the guys walking up the hill. I try to make sure I use as many cooldowns as possible there, and then after that I go for a forward on top of that. The biggest issue that we have is actually that our DPS is so high, it's actually just ripping straight off of Dak. Ember does amazing DPS, and so does Roman, so it's kind of hard for Dak to keep aggro, so we have to keep that into really a thought. I thankfully am a slow burner when it comes to that, so I don't have to worry too bad. With it being fortified, as always, you kind of just make sure we keep an eye on as things are going, and we just try to make sure we get as much damage out as possible. It really is a hard thing to end up doing, and really kind of keep an eye on most of this stuff, because I think that this trash on this side is some of the hardest, most annoying trash to deal with. Now, some people are starting to pull into the other direction, which I have seen once or twice, but I still think that this is just a lot easier to deal with in the long term.
I said, yeah. Okay. I comprended. No, she didn't. She said it backwards. She said it's my poultry. Yeah. Is that English yet? It's okay. It's okay. That's my dyslexia. I'm going to perfectly. I did too. Not so bad. Oh, that's funny. I just laughed at the fact it was like, wait, that wasn't right. I tried to ask if I said that right, and I couldn't remember the word sentence. So we never understood you because no one said anything with reference to it. You skipped it or something? Yeah. We did it. I do not have cooldowns, so it's Charlie's fault. It's tragedy. So my son was asleep, was in the wrong diaper, and my wife changed him into the other diaper. Woke him up! Now he's not going to sleep, and she is pissed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I dropped it. You guys are
As always, just wanted to make sure we partner with Sub2R for our gamer glasses, our green screens, our camera mounts, our cameras, all of those enjoyable objects that we end up using while streaming for our long gaming sessions to help increase our quality of our streams. So make sure you use Lord PeteyTV at sub2r.com when you end up going there and purchasing some of this amazing gear. We've actually taken a little bit of time to deal with this dungeon a little more and more, to the point where we're actually starting to take these Shadowblade Stalkers into the group on the bottom just to save time. But Dak didn't want to do that because he was just unsure, because everyone just keeps yoinking aggro off of him. So this week he didn't end up doing that, but I should say for this pull. So we end up taking the Stalkers, we take down the guys there, and then we're going to go up to the boss.
I'm taking this far one. You got the back or the far one? Okay, I got the right.
When we're ending out taking out this boss, I think the biggest problem and worry and concern that we end up dealing with is that nobody keeps an eye on their own dang totem. That even includes myself when I'm DPSing, because I'm too worried about everybody else. So I stopped ending up, worrying about others until they actually say, hey, I need help. Or we're really close to killing stuff, and it's like, hey, we need help. Usually it's ending up me going, I need some help, I'm not doing enough damage. And Ember does a really, really great job of just bursting and just blowing up stuff. So it works out really, really well in that part. So we end up taking that stuff down, and we're just going to continue forward from there. So the boss is generally easy. It's a 4-week, so we don't have to worry about too much. Just ending up burning out the totems. Once the totems go, we end up going around in the circle and done. Easy as pie. Just make sure you're doing those interrupts. You don't want to get more than one stack with the tank. And I make sure we're ending up taking care of the afflicteds and so on and so forth. So all is good with this.
My shield hits you.
Wait, I thought that was a bird. What the fuck am I looking at right now? Alright, I have to say that trinket is fucking weird. I thought it was a bird, but... And then I realized it had roots. A bit too weird to be a bird.
Make sure you end up checking out our other channels. We have a sister channel called Gaming Fire with Lord PeteyTV, which we end up giving you some specific gaming news that is popping up here and there throughout the whole entire week. And then make sure you're also checking out our Stories with Lord PeteyTV, where we end up giving you little short stories that he's handwritten throughout the whole entire week, which we think you'll greatly appreciate. Thank you so much, and check those out. And hit the subscribe button here when you are ready. The trash through the center really isn't a conversational piece. It's just stuff that you kind of have to deal with, making sure you're dealing with the interrupts. So, for instance, the venom bites, making sure you're interrupting that. You're ending up hedging the shield bearers or aka stunning them. Kind of just going through that stuff on a natural basis to kind of get stuff down. Other than that, that's pretty easy. And then after that, you're going to start going after the other stuff. So the sky screechers or screamers or whatever you want to call them, those are the next things you're going to go for. You target them, you go after them, burn them down, you continue forward, taking care of everything as you're going through. This dungeon isn't really too hard, so just keep that in mind.
The only chance I have to beat Ember's Spectre is on AoE. The only chance I have to beat her Hunter is on single target. It's insane. It's falling. People in the middle. Nope. Pulling these guys up the top. Ooh, I can't even remember. This shit stays up long enough for my stuff to sit on. I'm 40% haste right now. Oh, Jack, might need that other big guy. I don't remember if I needed him or not. I can put on my back if I need it. Found it. What is this for raid tonight? Mythic. For mythic progression? Oh, reclaiming the second boss, which is a bitch.
we've gotten really proficient at pulling this group here. So what ends up happening here is that we end up now pulling the group, we end up DPSing it pretty damn hard and pretty quickly. And once it gets to a point where it's about 50%, we usually pull in one of the priestesses while we're DPSing, and then a couple of seconds later, we end up pulling in the other priestess just to save time. That way, we can just do that, and we go through that, finish that up, and then if there's any more things we got to pull, we end up pulling them, and then also the ads on the side, and we end up doing that. It does get a little questionable if you don't know what you're dealing with, but this time we end up knowing, and we actually don't have that much of a problem. So how do you keep yourself hydrated over those long gaming sessions? Here at Lord PeteyTV, we end up using Rogue energy drinks. That is what we use here. We end up drinking those throughout the whole entire sessions. Please make sure you go there and use Lord PeteyTV at checkout when you end up purchasing some of those amazing drinks. I'm not going to really do a deep dive about the princess or priestess, whatever you want to call it. For me personally, I think that, this boss is a joke. The thing about it that, I'm just going to put a little bit of a little note on it as you're going through. Spirit of the Gold, make sure you CC that, stun that with which way you can. You burn it and you continue to work on the priestess. When the transfusion happens, you hit the blood in the back. It ends up killing itself. First transfusion, it's already up to 81%. So it's like, come on. So you're just going to kind of go for it. We're going to end up burning through and, ending up doing what it can do. So, I'm even like leaning back a little, just chilling as this fight's going on. I'm telling you, it's really, really interesting. The first, like, blood infusion, we almost got 30% off of it. And now we got, the next Molten Gold. And we got another transfusion happening in another couple of seconds. And you'll see it's pretty much like it's at 38%. And then it's going to take it almost down to almost nothing. So it's crazy how much damage it actually does. As you can see, Ash gets in there a little late, but it's not even a big deal. It's just crazy how much it kills itself. So it's easy.
Atal'Dazar's power flows through me.
You died. That again, guys. It's a rare occurrence. We're saved. I've died. I've been rezzed. That room still time on it.
As always with Yasma, we have that video out. Please check it out if you have any questions. Just to kind of go over it real quick. We end up bringing the Soul Rends together at one point. We end up dealing with that, CC them, hold them in place. We have a stun, and we have two of our, Ursas to take care of that. As always, Roman dies because he, tries to just do too much and he forgets where his feet are. And then we just kind of just go for it. And we just DPS, as hard as we can just to get down the boss. Really, it's not that crazy difficult because it is a fort week. Even with racking pain, I subconsciously still use my defensives during that time. I try to make sure I'm behind the boss and keep enough distance before the echoes come out. When Soul Rends come out, I try to make sure I have enough distance in between them. So as long as you're ending up doing that type of stuff, you'll be fine. But overall, easy boss once you get used to it. We still have some problems with it, and it's just because of the way that we all operate. Some people, they just don't know where to move or end up doing their thing. But, you kind of learn and, you can kind of go through it, especially on a fort week. You actually learn a lot of the basics before you can hit, the tyrannical week. Boss is a turd.
I need help with that other one.
I got it. Thank you so much for taking your time out and checking out the amazing videos that we are ending up producing here. Now, just a reminder, we end up putting videos out throughout the whole entire week involving our Mistweaver Monk, our Brewmaster Monk, our Boomkin Druid, our Guardian Druid, our Combat Rogue, and many other classes throughout the whole entire week. But please make sure you come and check us out. We are doing this every single week live on twitch.tv every single Monday through Friday. Please come check us out. Subscribe to our YouTube page here and our sister pages. And if you're looking to support the channel, you know where to find it. Thank you so much and have a fantastic rest of your day.